get shocked when I call in just me, and they're like, "Don't you have a handler?" I go, "Handler."
Yeah, no, that's the thing about you that's nice, that you're a real comic in that you don't have to explode in that way. Hey, how your Bears doing this year? How'd they do?
I know. I was going to ask.
It's an embarrassment, man. I mean, we keep. I don't know, man. They're supposed to move to my hometown in Arlington Heights, and hopefully they'll move there and sell the team because there's really nothing to be cheering about with the Chicago Bears.
Well, would you rather be a Dallas fan or a Bears fan at this point?
I just want to make the playoffs.
But the thing is you can have your heart broken every year in the first round of the playoffs. Is that really? It's the grass is greener situation.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys, that game, I don't know. That was a heartbreaker. But at least, you were in contention. You had a good season. You could tune in and go, hey, they're going to probably win. With the Bears, it's like, all right, there's another loss. It was a heartbreaking season for Chicago as well as Dallas. But I'm going to the Super Bowl this year, the first time ever going to the Super Bowl, so I'm amped about that, and I'm bringing my father, which he's over the moon about. So we're going to go and I live in L.A. I'm not a big Rams fan. I stay true to my Chicago teams. But,
yeah, is that the sign that you've officially made it, that you're going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. Forget Madison Square Gardens. If you go to the Super Bowl, you made it.
That's the thing. I mean, I just feel like everybody that's listening is like, oh, dude, he really has made it, man. What's up, Sebastian? You're coming to Austin. I guess we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Matt, Bob, B-DOE, we're going to go around and do a couple of questions with you. Thanks for taking some time this morning because I know you're in L.A., so the sun's not even up where you are right now.
Sun's not up, but I've been up since 3:30. So when I got radio, I'm not one of these comics that roll out of bed and get on the phone and it sounds like they're wrapped in sheets. I got to prepare for the radio interview. I got to get up, take a shower, I got to work out, I got to get my body moving, or else I'm going to sound like I'm in a coma on these interviews.
But also you're a dude. Part of your brand is an impossible level of energy, right?
Yeah, you got to be amped constantly. You always got to be on, and I'm super excited to be coming to Austin. By the way, speaking of Austin, over the last 2 years, is there any room left for any more people over there?
Don't come here, man.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can come visit. Just remember to leave. That's what we say.
We're maxed out. And property values are just nuts. We just did a story. To be considered rich in Austin, Texas, you have to make $145,000 a year in income.
Per person.
Yeah.
Wow. What are they doing? Just like knocking on your house going, you want to sell?
Basically.
You say that as a joke, but I just sold a house, all cash. They tore it down, and it's literally, it is so much in the hood. Well, you're in L.A., so you have similar neighborhoods. But, I mean, my house was in the hood, literally crack addicts and stuff around there. And then they built a $2.5 million home on the grave of my old house.
Wow.
And I was just like, screw this, but they sold it in like a week.
People are buying stuff sight unseen, Sebastian. Sight unseen.
Mainly people are trying to get here because they heard you were doing a couple shows, so they're piling in.
Oh, yeah, no, it's an influx of people going, where? He's going to Austin? Let's buy. No, apparently Joe Rogan moved there, and half of the city of Los Angeles followed him. So
you say that as kind of as a joke, but as somebody who's in the comedy scene, I can tell you that that's 100% the truth, dude. He brought the entire Comedy Store, and then also a bunch of people who've never met Joe but decided that they're best friends with Joe because they'll let you know at any club. Oh yeah.
Movie star. I found out we have the biggest NFL alumni group here in Austin of any city in the United States. So there's more retired players, band members, movie stars.
Help us with
crazy.
a debate we've been having for 2 weeks. Okay, jamoke, bad word, not a bad word, good word.
God, that's so dated, the word jamoke. What is that, in the 80s? Are you still using it?
More dated than mook. What's a mook?
Jamoke is, I don't know, I would say that's a derogatory term, but it's not really in my vocabulary. I don't really use that word.
No?
But,
okay.
So I'm a proud half Italian-American.
Because you're on the phone, Sebastian.
Yeah,
okay,
my grandparents came from the old country on my mom's side.
Yeah.
And my wife comes to me the other day, and maybe you can comment on this, but she goes, listen, I've been thinking, as a family, I think we need to start talking less like The Sopranos and more like we're in a Disney movie. And she was serious, man. She was serious. She does not like the way I communicate.
So what are you going to do? Like switch up your cadence over the weekend? Or
I don't know. I don't know what to do because it's my whole family. I don't care. Even the kids. It's F you, F this, blow me down. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's funny when you have kids. I got a 4.5 and a 2.5-year-old, and I don't really speak proper English. The verbs and the nouns and none of it makes sense, but it does with my family. But my wife is like, did you go to school?
No.
It's just the way I talk.
Where's your wife from? How'd she grow up?
She grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and then moved to Naples, Florida in high school.
Okay.
And so she's Jewish from the South, and they had a nice education. And,
right.
It sounds like I was brought up on the streets, but I grew up in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. But yeah, keep it, man. Keep the way you are. Don't be changing it to no Disney. It's authentic. You gotta lean into that.
The only thing I could think of is that the dad dies in every Disney movie.
Maybe
so,
that's what they're looking for.
What she was hinting at.
Yeah. You don't want to be passing away.
And just to keep it real with you, Sebastian, if you actually find the definition of jamoke, the last line is that it's just about any jamoke can host a radio show. So here you have 3 jamokes talking to you too early in the morning, my man.
So I want to ask you about Sebastian Live, okay? So that's almost 15 years ago now, right, that you taped that?
Yeah, that was in St. Louis, 2005. And
that was my first kind of big introduction to you because did you produce that yourself? How did that come to be?
I was waiting tables at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills, and I used to wait on this guy who used to work for Budweiser. And at the time, Budweiser was starting their own online entertainment website called Bud TV, and they were looking for content. So he goes, hey, would you be interested in Budweiser producing a special of yours? And I said, yeah, I'm looking to, I got an hour worth of material. I'm looking for a special. So they financed it. I own the rights to it, and that's how it happened. Basically, from me waiting on this guy who used to come in once a month from Budweiser, and Budweiser ended up financing the whole thing for me.
And it was cool too because it seemed pretty. It seemed like a punk move. I mean, by that I mean like the punk DIY aesthetic because I remember that was one of the first specials you saw heavily advertised, like on early adopters of Facebook. I don't know if were we still using MySpace then, but I remember that's how it was heavily promoted, and it was outside of the system of you wait around until Comedy Central or HBO come over and touch you on the shoulder and say, okay, now you're okay. Like it seemed like you did an end around on everybody.
Yeah, it just so happened to be, it worked out that way. That wasn't even planned. It just so happened that the guy needed content and I had the materials.
It was a pretty genius move, though, don't you think? I mean,
yeah, at the time. I mean, it aired on Comedy Central at midnight, so nobody saw it, but it got my foot in the door at least. And yeah, I mean, I was doing comedy, 7-8 years, and then I got my first special. So
it was great, though. It popped for you.
It was a good. What's that?
It popped for you, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I mean, listen, it didn't like catapult me into stardom, but it was a nice little foundation to build on so I could start, headlining comedy clubs across the country.
I thought it was kind of a really cool thing because I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, this is somebody who's figuring out how to use the new system. Whether that was on purpose or not, that product figured out how to use a new system to kind of break down the walls before, because sometimes – you could have a lot of talent, have all of the material, and you were having to wait for some gatekeeper to allow you through the gate.
What was the tipping point for you, do you think?
It was a culmination of things. I couldn't pinpoint one thing and go, oh, that was it. For my career, it's been like these little building blocks year after year after year. But once that we did a Vince Vaughn Wild West comedy show.
Oh yeah, right.
We toured around, and that was in 2005. It aired in 2008 as a movie, and that was got me out of my day job. So that I could pinpoint as something that was a big crossover for me as far as waiting tables and then going to do comedy at comedy clubs. But after that, it was like, you'd get a Tonight Show, you get a Kilborn show, or you'd get a Comedy Central Presents or a Netflix special. So each year it gradually kind of grew and grew and grew for me, and it's still growing. So it's good.
Yeah, I was at your last Bass concert show. I think I was in the second row. I don't know if you remember me, but I was there.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, he considers himself a real goomba, but he bought the tickets and said, "You got to come." We had a great time at the show, but your fans are rabid. They're rabid. Yeah. And how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis? You probably can't go anywhere without being stopped by a fan. I mean, how do you manage that part of stardom?
They're nice people. I mean, it's not like I got a bunch of maniacs sitting outside my door. My fans are, they work. They're just really salt of the earth people. And when they do come up to me, it's very polite, and obviously you're going to get every once in a while a jerk here or there, but for the most part, they're really respectable people, and I enjoy really interacting with them. Sometimes, obviously, you just want to, I was in the Bahamas a couple weeks ago doing a corporate gig and just wanted to kind of lay out and relax and read a book. And sometimes people come up, or I'm on the phone and people come up to you, which is a little distracting. But, the way I'm thinking about it, I was like, 15 years ago, I would have died for someone to come up to me and say hello. And now it's happening, so you gotta embrace it.
That's a good attitude.
Have you started having the feeling yet? Are you able to calm down and feel like you've made it? I know that so many comics, because when you start in the early days, you can have months booked, and then some clubs will redirect or whatever. You'll lose 6 weeks of bookings, and suddenly what you thought was going to be a fat month is gone, and it instills this panic that that you're never okay, that you can't rest. Do you have any of that yet? Do you have any relax? Do you feel like you made it?
No. I mean, the way I grew up,
good for you.
The way I grew up, you're never going to feel like you made it, because especially with my father constantly talking to me about, material and trying to maintain a fresh act and never rest. That's what the whole Stay Hungry book was about. It was like, always be wanting more and trying to do more. So, no, I feel like once you say you've made it, you kind of maybe stop producing. I just never want to kind of rest on the success. I always want to keep it fresh. So, no, I'm never going to say. I don't even know what made it means. I mean, made it to me, when I first came out here, was just doing stand-up comedy for a living, but that's kind of changed for me.
Sebastian, you'll be back in town on your Nobody Does This tour for 2 shows, February 19th at the Bass Concert Hall. Limited tickets remain. KLBJFM.com. Hit up that concert calendar. You're back out on tour. You're hitting up the Bahamas. What advice would you give somebody who hasn't left the house or been on vacation in the last 2.5 years, Bob Fonseca?
Well, that's me, yeah.
Well, listen, I think hopefully this thing is behind us. I mean, it seems like it's kind of dropping off a cliff now, and barring any new variant coming out of some other country, hopefully we could kind of get back to, I was just in Florida. Nothing's going on over there. I mean, it's no mask, no nothing, full bore. It's like 1998 over there. And then I come back to California and I go get my mail and somebody's screaming, "Put your mask on." So it's like 2 different worlds we're living in. But I've been vaccinated, and then I got COVID right after I got vaccinated. So I don't know. I feel like I got Superman type immunity over here, so I'm out and about doing my thing.
Now, when you're out and about, this is off the cuff, but I just thought of this because we've been talking a lot on the air about things like crypto and NFT and all. Where is that part of your world at all? Like you got movie stars now doing commercials for crypto. You got a lot of crypto?
I got cash.
Say that again?
Cash.
Cash.
I don't even know where to get a crypto or how to buy an NFT. My philosophy is if you can't buy it with cash, I don't want it.
How's it go? You were mentioning you're kind of a newer on the father side, right?
Yeah.
So you got the career going, wife, now the kids. What's the change that's coming with that?
Minivan.
My hair's falling out.
Yeah. Dude, that's got to be hard. You're a proud Italian man with that perfect dark coif.
Yeah.
Are you really losing some hair?
No, in clumps. I get up and the pillowcase, I got to change it every morning. The kids are great. Don't get me wrong. Love the kids. Love being a father.
Yeah, you're talking to like-minded people here who are like, look, here's the deal. I love them, and I got to say that. But I do still sometimes I think back to my single days, and boy, is there some joy in my heart.
Yeah, no, I mean, not the problem. It's just my wife has a very patient way of dealing with the kids, and she's very diplomatic, and I'm a little bit more loud and aggressive, as far as like I might raise my voice, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "What am I doing? I'm asserting some type of discipline here."
No, nurture. It's nurture. You got to nurture.
You'll scare them with your loud voice. It's a man voice. You don't understand how loud it is.
Use your Disney voice, Sebastian. That's what my wife was getting at. Use your Disney voice.
Yeah, right? I mean, Disney voice don't work. I mean, for me, it's like yelling, and so she's like diplomatic, and she tries to hey, I know you're frustrated right now, but, I go, what? They're not 30. I mean, they're 2.5. So, I don't know. We have a little different style of parenting.
You made your kids cry yet?
Once I did.
It's a good feeling, right?
Oh. It's my daughter.
It's crushing because those little eyes look up at you and you're like, oh, I'm a monster.
I know. I'm terrible. But we're having a good time with them.
Yeah, good. What's next for you, man? You're on tour. What? I looked at your IMDb. It looks like you've got 45 different projects happening all at once.
No, I just did a movie I co-wrote, loosely based on my life. It's a comedy about a father and son, and De Niro plays my father. We got Robert De Niro to play my father.
Oh, my God.
Incredible. Working with him for 6 weeks. And then I got a movie with Ray Romano coming out hopefully this year, and I did a movie called Spinning Gold about Casablanca Records in the 1970s where I played Giorgio Moroder with a German accent. So I don't know how this is going to...
A German accent?
Yeah. This is how bad it was for me. Not bad, but I'm first day on the set. I'm doing the accent. The actor comes up to me. He goes, "What accent is that?" Forget it.
How did you not get a piece of the Gucci movie? You might have been more authentic than Adam Driver in that.
I saw that movie. I'm like, why wasn't I asked?
Do they set you up with like an accent coach?
Yeah. Yeah, we did accent, and she goes, "Oh, you're terrific." I go, "I am." She goes, "Oh yeah, you're gonna pull this off," but you don't know. And I'm on set doing the German accent, and I'm like, and they yell cut, and I'm like, "Anything? Is this good?" So we'll see when it comes out. You guys tell me.
Just don't read the reviews. Just cash the check, man, and move on. But that's interesting. That dude was interesting, right? That Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat. So I'm looking forward to that coming out.
Is that you gonna? You don't strike me as a guy who'll ever leave stand-up even after the movies pop.
No. The stand-up is the best. You can't beat it. I mean, it's immediate. It's an hour and a half a night, in and out. Movie, you're there for 15 hours, and you don't even know how you're doing. So, yeah, stand-up is the best.
But close second, sitting on a set day after day with Robert De Niro?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Can't be bad. Were there any pinch me moments when you're hanging with him? How he strikes me. He plays so many tough characters, but when you see him in an interview, he looks kind of like he's a real sweetheart.
Or he's quiet sometimes.
Very quiet, very to himself. It's not like a yell cut and we're asking each other, hey, want to do some shots tonight? He's very to himself and very professional and very committed to the craft. So
in his mind, he's just thinking to himself, what accent is this dude doing?
What is he doing? Why is he acting with me?
So here's the deal. I think, Bito, did you find out we got a couple tickets left, or are they both sold out?
Limited tickets remain.
Okay, limited tickets remain. You got any questions left, Bito? I feel like, did we shut you out? We both got so excited. I feel like we shut Bito out, and he's
guys. I got to jump on another call with this other radio station, but I appreciate you guys having me on, and
absolutely
save some room for me in Austin, will you please?
Will do. Thank you very much, Sebastian. Did we cut you off, dude?
What's that? Are we still on?
I feel like well, what happened? What happened?
Not a damn thing.
All right. I feel
Not
like
a damn thing.
Your face got mad, and I feel like were we cutting you off?
That's not a mad face.
What face was that?
Right here, Sebastian Maniscalco, 2 shows, February 19th. Nobody does this tour. Limited tickets remain.
All right, we have 4
Concert
minutes.
calendar, KLBJFM.com.
How do we figure it out? They're going around where we keep everybody in the loop. I don't want you to get cut out.
I know. Maybe just looking at me.
Okay, well, no, that's why I kept pointing at. Like, did you want to get in there?
Nah. Would you guys, if you met Robert De Niro, what would the urge be to do a line, or not cocaine, but like drop a line or an impression? I know, right?
You can't do it back to him.
Would you have the urge, though? And anybody that like you've grown up watching or something.
Yeah.
I think I would. I don't know if I'd have the urge. I think I'd be too afraid, but I think what would end up happening is I bet I would start mimicking him while I was sitting with him, Like when he would say something, I would want to say it the same way he said it just because I'm excited to be around. Well, I wouldn't do that with my face. De Niro face?
What do you call that, though, when you're not mimicking? There's a chameleon?
Mirroring.
Yeah, where you like take on the personality. Like if you're in a room with Sebastian, you might even like kind of slide into a little, hey, oh, no?
I don't know, because that accent is so different than anything that would be real for me. But I can hear, especially when I would work with a comic for a week, I could hear it changing my own cadence because you're around somebody the whole time. And I think maybe I'm a natural, maybe that's part of a issue I have that I've been trying to drop.
I could see it just talking to Sebastian. I slip into my upstate New York real quick, talking to him.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Even though that's a Chicagoland
I know,
accent.
but it's still that Italian
because you're wanting to
family.
show somebody where you're from.
Yeah, it's still the same. It's the same.
I thought it was great when he was like, Jamoke, what is this, the 1930s?
Yeah, right.
Would you want to do a line back to De Niro or somebody? Who would it be that you would have a hard time resisting?
I don't know. A lot of times that might just come from like anxiety too, right? Or like being nervous around it.
I just wouldn't take that gig. I'd be so nervous just to take the gig. I'd pass on it.
Or somebody that you've grown up kind of idolizing. I think that would always be a fear of mine, where you would give them that line that you've done a million times on the show or to your friends.
Talking to me? You talking to me, Mr. De Niro?
Yeah, who
Are
would?
You talking to me?
Can you think of somebody who it would be that would like? I think I might have had a hard time. I know this sounds weird, but around Bowie, not trying to do like Bowie lyrics back to him somehow.
Okay.
Like if he had said, hey, if you're with Bowie and they said, well, we have to go because the day's almost done. And then I would be like, oh, that's a god-awful sad affair.
My internal, I've met a lot of people, and I know you have too, but my internal discussion at that time when I'm looking someone in the eyes is, don't say something stupid. Don't say something stupid. Don't say something. And then you say something stupid.
Yes,
right
every
off
time
the-
I've ever told myself not to do that.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. Like the first,
I fall into the
lead.
trap.
I'm a big fan. Like, why did I lead with that? That's what everybody leads with. But you only had limited time with a celeb, so you've got to establish that you like their body of work somehow.
You've been in this business for a very long time, Bob.
40-something years.
You have interviewed countless celebrities in person or on the phone.
Yes.
You got to meet your hero, Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
And what did you say to him?
I love you, man.
And that was it, right?
That's it. Then it was move on.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I love you because you couldn't figure out like what do I say in this moment?
Don't blow it.
How do I make this tiny moment as special for this celebrity as it is for me? And guess what?
Can't.
You can't. I don't think you can. Unless you put a gun in his ribs.
I'm having trouble.